Hello everyone and welcome back on BlockGems. On BlockGems we talk about what is going on in the non-fungible token space. If you enjoy the content, this could be a great moment to subscribe to the channel and turn the like button blue. And today I want to talk about what is going on with this Cryptokitties resurgence, so to speak. So some of you might have noticed that in the very recent days there was little bit more of attention on this project, which is Cryptokitties. Cryptokitties is a very old project in blockchain terms because it started in late 2017, which is basically us saying that it started in before Christ era for how quickly the blockchain evolved and has been evolving since that time. And if we go look at the metrics of this project in the last 90 days, what we see is that it has been particularly dormant for all this time, except then in the last week or so. This is the 3rd of March, and indeed the tweet that Axie produced is actually also for the 3rd of March, when a little bit of interest was started to sparks back again. Now, what I want to discuss with you is, will we see this resurgence, or is this just a dead cat bounce and this project will go back being dormant after this very minor spike, or maybe some other minor spike in the future? So I want to start discussing one topic right now, and the fact that some of you might remember that back in 2017 and early 2018, there were so many other projects that had a very similar scope than Cryptokitties, as Cryptokitties. There were the crypto puppies, there were the fishes, there were the dogs as we see here, there were the alpacas, the robots, the zombies. There were all sorts of things that you could collect and breed in a similar fashion than you could collect and breed Cryptokitties. So Cryptokitties simply represented the first examples of this kind of games and this kind of collectible items, but they were certainly not the last. There were so many replication efforts, each and every one with a little bit of differences, but that essentially perform the same kind of activity. So why we do not see any relevance in these projects anymore? Why they are not? Why they're all forgotten? Why nobody's talking about them anymore? Well, most likely there was not enough utility for the users of these projects, of these games. And in my opinion, the reason why this project has been dormant, by this project I mean Cryptokitties, has been dormant for all this time, is also because there has been not so much of utility for the users. This game of breeding collectibles and producing hence new and unique collectibles has not been enough probably for the users in order to be attached to this game, to come back to the protocol and do more and more things with it. So probably the only reason why we still see some value attached to Cryptokitties is for the historical significance of them. They represented the very first ERC-721 token. This is the token that virtually defines all the NFTs that are out there today. So anytime you're minting an NFT today on the Ethereum network, you are minting an ERC-721 token. That is the name of the standard, actually. There is an exception. That exception is CryptoPunks. I made a video about CryptoPunks that you can look at clicking on the link above. And this is because CryptoPunks were born just before this standard was actually launched. But the Cryptokitties were the first one that endorsed this standard. So this is part of the historical significance that they have for the entire space, for the entire crypto community. Now, I want to make another comparison with another project. So not with the Hush Puppies, not with these other forgotten Cryptokitties similar projects, these copycats, so to speak, but with another project that is much older than you guys might think, which is Axie Infinity. Why I want to make this comparison? First of all, because also this game entails the collection of creatures, cute creatures that you might like, cute creatures that you may want to breed or not. And also, it is a pretty old project, despite what most people think. This project launched in early 2018, whilst Cryptokitties launched in late 2017. But in terms of time when these projects launched, they're not so far apart. So they could, we could say that they belong to the same generation, to the same time, the same era. However, one has seen an enormous development in terms of functionalities, in terms of the things that were promised to the community, the things that you eventually will be able to do with these creatures, the world that they will live in. And this has delivered a lot of utility for the collectors, a lot of utilities for the gamers, and this is reflected in the data. Although a lot of it is still a promise, we see that these promises and also these developments of the project have attracted and kept on attracting a lot of attention from the user base. This is not the same for Cryptokitties. It was, at the same time, it was always the same. It was for all the time that this project was out there. Yes, there were new editions, there were special editions, special characteristics, evolution in the graphics, but the underlying idea was unchanged and failed to attract more users. There was also another reason that is interesting to look at, and is the fact that when you own a CryptoKitty, you don't really own it. You're more of a licensee. In other words, you do not own any right on the graphic itself. You just can use it, so to say. And this is a characteristics that many other projects have, unfortunately. In many other occasions, for many other projects, when you buy a collectible, you don't own the graphics, the same way as when you buy a baseball card, you don't own the graphic that is on the baseball card. But the thing that makes it worse in this case is that this picture that for most people represents the actual CryptoKitty is not even stored in a decentralized fashion. It's not stored on IPFS or all these systems that allow for decentralized storage. It is stored on their private servers. Why this is relevant? It is relevant because if you think that you own one of these collectibles and then those servers go down, the company that apologies, the company that owns this project fails, then you lose the image. You don't see the CryptoKitty that you bought anymore. So there is this fragility, there is this centralization aspect that, in my opinion, made things worse for the collectible, for the collectors, and also for the collectibles, and was one of the components, although a minor one, that draw a little bit of interest away from this project in general. And by the way, this issue has been there for years now, for the moment that they were launched. And this post here is only from a couple of weeks back. So there were many issues that were never addressed nor mitigated in this project. Now, going back to the recent activity, as we see that some artists, some curators, some famous collectors are jumping back in this project. They are revamping this project, this space again. Do I believe that we will see a true resurgence in these collectibles? Do I hope that we will see a resurgence in this collectible? Well, what I hope and what I believe in this case go in different directions. I would hope that we would see this resurgence, we would see a comeback in the Cryptokitties collectible space. And I hope that because it would be great that people that bought the average CryptoKitty back in 2018 will see some sort of return on investment, will manage to break even. But do I believe that? Well, I do not believe that. And I do not believe that for the vast majority of Cryptokitties. There will be some exceptions, such as the founder Cryptokitties, the so-called Generation Zero, which are sort of the ancestors of all the kitties that came after them, and they were bred from them. So the Generation Zeros probably will hold some value. The top 1% Cryptokitties probably will hold some value. Also, as I mentioned, for the historical significance that they have. But all the others, I don't think that they have a very relevant space in this new wave, in this new era of NFT adoption. This is unfortunate because it would be great for the space to prove that although with an insane amount of volatility, if you have bought an NFT back in 2018, you still have some value today. It would be a great proof of the value that NFT have, and would be great also for the current projects. But also, I believe that the kind of utility that current projects deliver to the table, that they bring to the table for the average user, is much higher today than it was back in late 2017. Now, if you found this video informative and useful to do some of your research, I encourage you to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. By the way, I decided to include one link in the description below that would allow you to do even more research on Cryptokitties in case you were willing to collect them, how to buy them, how to get your hands on the best ones, in the sense of which are the ones that are most likely to hold some collectible value in the future. So you'll find it in the description below. And with that, thank you very much, and until the next video.